are firing in all cylinders, I would say, and they do have what it takes to, finish the game relatively early on.
If this is going to go to a game 3, T, who are you going to look towards to really deliver this game?
In regards
on the side of G2.iG.
Yeah, they'd have to win. Right, that's true. Good point.
Yeah, that's what would need to happen.
For them to deliver.
Yeah.
It's actually hard to pinpoint a single player, because I think there's going to be so much pressure applied to them that all of them need. No, they all need to they all have to do well. They all have to skip waves, because if you have a couple weak links, then it will just falls apart. Like if Razor has a good game, it doesn't matter, because the
when you say weak links, do you mean Razor or?
Yeah, we are gonna see some weak links from Nothing to Say.
All right,
it's the support duo here, the Shadow Demon Mirana. If they can roam mid, kill the Viper a few times, stack up a lot for the Sand King, for him to catch up. Like the support duo are the playmakers of this game for IG.
Support duos. It sounds simple. Shadow Demon Mirana. It's a classic. Should be easy to execute all of that. We'll find out if it happens in this second game. But first, some words from Coach Super.
Thank you, Shiva. I am indeed here with Super, coach of G, but there are actually 3 coaches on the team. Could you tell me what the roles of the 3 coaches are? Well, 2 coaches and an analyst, Rebecca and Dogfight. Tell me what all your roles are.
我们知道 IG 有3位教练，可以跟我们说一下 Dogfight 还有 Rebecca 他们分别的职务是什么吗
？Dogfight 是助理教练，然后那个 Rebecca 是算表现教练，就是帮助我们在心理方面以及健康营养这方面。
So Dogfight is the assistant coach. He helps me with a lot, and Rebecca actually is the performance coach. She deals with our mentality and mental.
Okay, fantastic. Just looking back at game 1, obviously it didn't go the way you guys wanted it to. And you've come back in game 2 and basically stolen the draft of GG. So can you explain to me what went wrong in game 1 and how you think you might have fixed it in game 2?
第一把之后，第2把你们的 BP 几乎选了对面大部分的英雄，上一把的英雄，可以跟我们说一下吗？
就我们选到中间的时候，就意识到好像是跟对面刚才一样吧，就可能就也只是凑巧吧。
So halfway into the draft, we realized that we picked half of majority of the heroes from the last game's draft from Gaimin. So it's just a coincidence.
Just a coincidence, fair enough. And Luna seems to be getting a lot of play lately. Do you think this hero is one of the stronger carries in the tournament?
最近选 Luna 的队伍很多，你觉得这个英雄很强吗？
我觉得这英雄现在在这个版本还是比较突出的吧，尤其就是之前比较热门的几个射手都被针对的比较多，大家都很懂怎么打。所以现在 Luna 就暂时可能算一开始没被关注到，所以现在这个英雄还是比较不错的。
So Luna stands out in this patch, and some of the other ranged carries have been learned and studied, and so people know how to counter them. So Luna is starting to shine.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Super, and good luck in the game. And over to the casters, Cinderin and Suns fan.
Thank you, Ted. Maybe next time we can get an entire life story before the game starts. That's your objective for next time. Appreciate you as always.
He didn't.
Oh, but this is first blood. It might be concoction. Will Dyrachyo with first blood on an alchemist? Okay. Jinx.
Yeah. The classic carry is hunting the 4 while Chen is farming lane strat that we have come to know and love from Gaimin Gladiators. Interesting stuff. You know, the whole thing about this being a coincidence or whatnot, I don't know if I feel like the Sand King was just bound to be a highly contested hero, and so was Shadow Demon. So honestly, I kind of believe it, that they weren't deliberately trying to take the exact heroes that Gaimin were running last game, but that it kind of just turned out that way. You know, you're likely to play the Mirana because the enemy has Chen, so it kind of just lined up that way. As far as what the panel is saying, I'm kind of with them. I think this is the type of game where Gaimin Gladiators, historically, when they run this lineup, are Dyrachyo, big damage.
It does hit.
It will live here, but it's taking quite the beating. Doesn't have too much region to go with it either.
Only one tango gifted by Celery.
Yeah. This feels like a timed game from the side of Gaimin Gladiators. I don't think they have the longevity in this one to not clean it or close the game out at the right time. It's not like it's super tight that they have to hit exactly 25 minutes or something, but if G2.iG rather get to get to reach that later stage and both Razor and Luna are having good games, I would definitely heavily favor them later on. So yeah, it's a matter of can they weather the storm? Can they not get run over by what happened last game? And one significant difference between the lineup Gaimin are running this time compared to the last one is they don't really have catch. So if you're playing a lineup that wants to play keep away and farm, the good news is the only hero that has a stun on the side of Gaimin is Alk, who's the carry.
Yeah.
The bad news is if you lose your towers pretty early on, you might run into the problem that you can't kill the enemy cores because they're all 3 tanky with Chen, and then they can just beat you without catch by just controlling areas. So defend your towers is probably the name of the game here and get off to a good start in the lanes.
Would you say Gaimin's lineup is harder to execute because they don't have the CC?
I think there's less margin for error than there was in game 1 for them. But they obviously play to an extremely high level most of the time in their games, so they should feel comfortable and they know what the objective is. They know what the weakness of their lineup is and they know what the strength is. But so does G2.iG. So yeah, I would say less margin for error. If they have a couple of bad dives on the side of Gaimin, they could just run out of steam entirely. So that the moves need to be executed properly. And also, I think Doom has an atrocious win rate, which is interesting to say the least. In this,
on all facets, would you say?
I think in the previous many games we've seen this hero in this stage of the tournament, I think he's lost every game. I think it's like 0-7 in this playoffs bracket, if I'm not mistaken. It's something really, really bad.
So you're telling me there's a good chance of game number 3 here?
I wouldn't put it that way.
Okay.
But there's a good chance that Doom might end his atrocious streak, is another way of looking at it.
Yes, that is. Shrapnel with the blood grenade on top.
Good damage.
Monet being forced out with very little HP now. Viper mid, I want to talk about that for Quinn. Your thoughts on this hero currently in the meta?
Kind of lackluster. I think this hero is not particularly good most of the time. There's a reason we don't see it played that much. In a meta that is a lot around, you could say in theory it fits the bill for this mid-game timing, which I think is also why Gaimin picked it. But Viper just has this tendency to, you see it in this case, he's not even really winning his lane. He's actually losing it quite significantly here, Quinn, which is uncharacteristic for him against Nothing to Say. It's 25-11 against 18-4. It's a quite meaningful lead. It's, I guess part of the problem for Viper is how do you really fit in? Like, what items do you buy? You want your teammates to buy the auras and then group up and push. So I suppose if you have a really good core-to-core matchup, that can be justifiable. Oh, Quinn's in trouble, by the way.
Yep. X-Nova making his way over. Disruptions there. TP is going to be... Okay, Tofu actually eats the arrow, and they turn it around onto Nothing to Say, despite it being a 2 versus 3. That Sniper, very strong.
That is such an insane TP.
Shrapnel to yet another kill. I don't even understand what we just witnessed here.
I want a replay of that to see if that TP was on purpose. If they actually saw Mirana, if it just totally randomly TP'd into the line of that arrow. Because it changed everything that he ate the arrow. Otherwise, you're trading there at best. And now you just got a 2-0. Celery will immediately be hounded by the TPing Nothing to Say out of his death, and that's an easy...
Oh, the Ogre does a lot of damage to the Luna, though. So, that's fun to watch.
That was...
Keith the Bold.
I kind of can't believe that mid play turned out that way, but that's one of the weaknesses I guess Razor has as a mid is when you are ganking for him. The kills have a tendency to be pretty slow, so you can TP in reinforcements, which is exactly what Gaimin did there. And
watch it here. Quinn looks kind of dead. I mean, the disruption...
They don't know Mirana's here. Like, it's actually... Maybe Tofu has the read because Mirana is not showing bot, but Baboka could have easily flanked from the southeast or been a little bit further north, so that's just... It's one of those situations where, you know, you're making the move anyway, and this is a fortunate outcome, but you did give yourself the opportunity for that to even be a possibility, right? So really, an amazing result there for the side of Gaimin to get that trade.
He's trying to make use of this invis room, but it's about to run out, so not able to really find anything on the bottom side of the map. I mean, back to the Viper, because I know it's a disgusting hero, but we don't get to see it that often, so it's interesting to talk about at least. I believe the 7-minute wisdoms will just be traded. So a second game in a row, we're not really seeing any action on top of that. But back in the day, Cinder, and Viper's picked to kind of dominate their lane, right? Now you're picking, I mean, and to break heroes. It used to be Nether Toxin that broke. Now it's the ult. You see any value? I mean, he didn't really win his lane, although that gank really helped. How important is that hero getting off to a decent start? comeback because Nether Toxin does farm a lot faster than it used to.
Duraccio's in trouble. Answered after that. Let's see if they get... Oh, they didn't disrupt at all.
They did not.
Now
they will.
Okay,
Arrow
awkward.
Will connect, and JT is here to finish the job. But Boboka actually claims it for himself instead.
Got there in the end. That got a little bit scrappy, but it is executed ultimately. How important is it for Vipers to get off to a good start? I still think this hero is very snowbally in nature. I think if you lose your lane significantly, this hero is one of the weaker ones you can have in your team. I wouldn't say he lost his lane, though, especially with that rotation, though, so it's okay. I think the worst Viper performances we've seen historically is when it's been played as a dual lane offlane and the enemy team tri-lanes it for 3 minutes, which is, you know, hasn't really happened in Dota for a long time, but then the recovery curve is just absolutely awful. This time around, it's fine, I think. But I don't know if what you're alluding to is whether there was a better pick.
No, I'm just curious why they picked it. I'm not saying it's even bad. It's just,
I'm curious too. I think it was literally just a matter of we want to pick a hero that they really feel like they can't put Sand King mid against. So that you're removing that flex concern potentially of where is Sand King, where's Razor going. But since you did have... It was ultimate last pick Viper, right? I think.
Yeah.
The ultimate last pick was the Viper, so you knew there was Razor and Sand King as the two matchups. And I don't know, with that in mind, maybe there was a matchup that was going to do better against both.
Okay, I know this is not the typical hero that you talk about Break with, but Break against Luna is actually not bad. Moonglaze being disabled is kind of a
That's
big
true.
In the
I mean, maybe we're underestimating the value that Viper is going to offer in that regard.
It's 6 seconds break. That's pretty long.
Yeah, that's very true. Might be one of the main reasons even that they chose this over alternative options. The timing plus the break.
Quinn definitely struggling in terms of farm, as Duracio being forced out of his comfort zone as well. He's being hounded by X-Nova constantly in this game. Gaimin do have a 2K lead, but this is the Alchemist effect and the Doom. I guess they have both on their team.
Yeah, they have.
So it's going to be really hard to gauge like what the actual net worth is. Both these heroes are kind of supposed to be ahead. Has nothing to say. He's going to get doomed and Viper struck. And he's just going to TP, but no, the Infernal Blade is there to give the extra damage. And that is the death of the mid laner for G2.iG.
Yeah, and it's the loss of the tower, which I think is the much bigger concern here. This is what G2.iG need to try to avoid, and what Gaimin Gladiators need to accomplish is get the tier 1s down ASAP. They've taken top and mid pre-10 minutes, which is great. Got to keep that ball rolling, because ultimately what this will do is it will free up Alk to have so much space, and they will be allowed to bleed a hero here or there, especially their supports, while all of their cores get filthy rich with their Doom Midas and their Alk Radiance. And that doesn't... Don't be fooled. This isn't Gaimin Gladiators playing for some 45-minute timing with their greedy heroes. They're playing for a 25-minute timing with their greedy heroes. They just need to get a couple of key items that these naturally will build into with their Midas / Radiances. As Luna will be assassinated. That's a TP cancel.
They don't have a lot of... I would call normal CC type stuns, but they do have the mini stuns, right? They have the Infernal Blade, they have the Assassinate, and that's 2 attempted TPs there, so twice in a row now. It's Gaimin off to a decent start in terms of the kills. Dewarding action here.
Formation is just so important for G2.iG. This is a very stressful game because you know the writing on the wall here is they're going to come at us in 10 minutes. Are we ready or not? And the way you prevent yourself from being overwhelmed at that point is all your cores need to not die too much. And that puts so much strain on the supports to break smokes, be in the right place at the right time. You can't protect all 3 cores simultaneously, so you need to make the right map read. Either that, or you need to take initiative and try to force Gaimin to run after your moves, but hasn't really been the case. We haven't seen too much initiative from the Sand King, Shadow Demon, Mirana combination with maybe smoke moves across to mid.
Nothing to say. He's going to get Viper struck again as Celery's here with all his creeps, and the Assassinate from Tofu is enough.
Yeah, if you do this in a pub game as Sniper, I don't think your team is particularly happy with it, but...
He's going drums, though. He's being a good boy. He's not the Jenkins, you know... instant divine rapier feed.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Midas, but it's actually possible to buy something even worse.
Yes.
Congratulations, Jenkins.
So Boca try to defend this tier 2 tower. Already seeing so much aggression from Gaimin Gladiators, despite having these 2 heroes that really want to farm in the early stage of the game. So at what point do you sell... Sorry, I didn't even check the Doom Fest. I assume it's the...
He's got Devil's Bargain, yeah.
Or Devil's... I always get those mixed up in names. But so, at what point do you think you actually sell this Midas? As Assassinate onto X-Nova. Quinn, very fast.
Haste will do that.
And eventually we'll find this kill, surely. There we go. Also does have boots of travel, by the way, so going for the ultra mobility. He's actually TPing a few meters away. And is JT able to TP out?
When does Doom sell Midas? Whenever he can turn it into an aura item, I think. I think he keeps the Midas for now, gets the blink, and then I assume he will go pipe next. And when he can complete the pipe by selling Midas, we're probably going to see that to hit this ridiculous mid-game timing where... So what does he get when he sells Midas? He gets 90% back, right? So that's about... That's close to 2k gold. Yeah, probably going to see it then. And then Gaimin Gladiators will try to win this game at minute 25.
Yeah, and I'm curious what Quinn's going to go in terms of items. So he's going for the Dragonlance first. I wonder if he's going to itemize for a shard early on. I mean, being able to poison attack towers, kind of a big deal.
It is, but Viper is also the type of hero where you really need stats. Like, this hero lives and dies by the tankiness it has.
By the way,
so
just to mention a quick little fact here that I learned in a game. I learned it the hard way. The poison attack, the poison burst facet that he took, which is when the poison attack ends, it does damage in the area, right? Works when you get the shard, it works on towers, meaning when the tower dies, it will deal damage to units around.
Oh.
I've seen a hero die from a tower dying.
Yeah, I wonder if the team or
pretty cool
G2.iG would be aware of that.
I feel like it's a bit niche, but
yeah, that is
still
niche.
Really cool interaction.
I think he's specifically buying the shard to kill Luna that way. Thank you for pointing that out. I can't wait for that to happen. It happens all the time in my game.
Well, speaking of the Luna, Monet has a Dragonlance Mask of Madness, and it will be the Manta first, so no huge surprise. Are we seeing the Conda as much these days on the Luna? We're seeing a drop-off of it from a few months ago, at least.
We definitely saw it early. I think earlier today, we saw it purchased at least once.
But it's not like the go-to, it seems.
Yeah, you're probably getting it like third item after Manta BKB or something to that sort most of the time. I don't really want to count Mask of Madness as a full item. Just a little bit of a build-up.
G2.iG, they have gone through the gate. They are smoked. Quinn is going to be the first one they run into. He's actually broken from the creeps, trying to get to the high ground. Arrow connects with the Static Storm. JT will actually use the epicenter. They'll get the kill. Kind of awkward as he made it to the high ground in the end. As Ace jumps in with the Doom on top of the Razor. He's just going to stand his ground right now. Xno is going to be the first to fall for G2.iG, but already 3 members of Gaimin deleted from the face of the map as Duraccio now on the run. Along with Ace, the arrow does hit him right in the ass. And nothing to say and come. Okay, they're going to miss the Burrow Strike as Duraccio's going to have to use
but
deny himself.
Oh,
he will.
My
wow. Symphony of fails.
Such a sick arrow into such an underwhelming follow-up. Baboka has to be livid.
That is unfortunate.
Man.
That would have been a huge kill, for sure. I mean, they still win the fight. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Okay, let's focus on the positives. Sure, Alk denies himself, but that was a very important and good fight for G2.iG. Stemming the bleeding, slowing things down here, getting some kills, and buying themselves time. And all of Gaimin were involved in that. And the good news is that was even an epicenter that hit nothing. And they still felt comfortable afterwards with the Doom initiating that they could stand their ground and take the fight with Viper dead. So imagine if JT actually gets to pop a nice epi later on with his dagger coming up soon. I don't think Gaimin have enough sustain right now to actually withstand this. Chen finally will now get the mech. The pipe will be complete if Ace sells the Midas. See if he opts to do that very soon, or if they will continue this slightly greedier approach of just holding on to it as long as he likes. But yeah, this 4k gold is the smallest 4k lead you've seen all tournament.
Yeah.
Because it is Alk and Doom at the top of the charts with very greedy approaches. And the lowest net worth core is a Razor, who can still be very effective as an anti-carry with just a BKB. And Luna is looking healthier than last game on Monet. So,
I mean, if anything, it's actually a little surprising. I mean, I know Nothing to Say has died 3 times, but the fact that he's lower net worth than Quinn, who I feel like has been really struggling, despite him being 3-1. Is that weird that I'm saying that? It feels like he's struggling, despite being 3-1?
It is a bit weird because Quinn has more CS and better KDA and is on the winning team. So it's kind of weird that you think he would be doing worse than the enemy mid. Yes, he's actually ahead of him on literally every possible metric.
Celery's dead. Oh, God, that really tickled me. Thank you for that, Cinderin. It's just the Viper effect, you know? It's just very underwhelming.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. Quinn's doing great, though, as you can tell. by every statistic in the game.
I was about to say maybe he has fewer assists, but he also has more assists. He's actually ahead on everything.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
All right, good to know. I'll pay attention to that from now on. And he's almost like, and
nice aggressive ward here. This could lead to a major victory for G2.iG. If they find any core peeking toward that mid tower, they jump and dive them. They collapse and grab that. Would open up the map nicely for them. They will give away the smoke now with both the sandstorm and a plasma field mid. You would assume that someone from Gaimin saw that wave just disappear. They are out. Monet hunting a little bit of celery creeps in the jungle.
Delicious.
Pull back the troll.
So Dyrachyo, BKB is his next item. I believe that is a Manta coming from him. So we'll be able to split push and amplify his farm a bit.
Are Gaimin settling for plan B? Is that what we're seeing here? Or did we just have the incorrect read on what they were even aiming for to begin?
What were we expecting, like a blink BKB?
Yeah, potentially like a more aggressive approach like that. We were talking about Doom selling Midas to get pipe and then just really kicking up the pace. Now that Alk is going Midas, or rather Manta Radiance is more of a classic, very heavy farm approach. The Doom never sold the Midas. Is this them saying, okay, you know, we're going to slow it down. We can also take it late. We can get stupidly rich. Just going to be interesting to see the development of the game, and would be cool to hear from them if this was actually what happened, or if it was always the plan to approach the game in this fashion. There's the pipe for Ace. And Celery 1000 away from the Guardian Greaves.
It could be a call from Quinn, thinking that he's not doing so well despite being ahead in every single statistical category versus his counterpart mid.
Yep.
Just not feeling it right now, because he is playing Viper.
Uh-oh. Ace will blink away. JT was close on his tail. Will he follow him? No. They're not going to find anything with this rotation through the gate. But yeah, okay, just to highlight, not that you can always trust the win expectancy graph or anything. It can be misleading, but consider this. One team is 5,000 gold up minute 19, and they, according to the graph, have 38% chance to win the game. I think that's very telling for the type of game that we're dealing with here, that the system still favors. Gaimin still loves G2.iG in this one enough. But I don't know if I fully agree with those percentages, if it's more like 50-50, but all right, let's be honest. That's a good starting point for G2.iG against a mid-game of Gaimin.
It is Luna. Luna is a monster.
Yep.
That might have something to do with it. Maybe it's the new Spectre for Gaimin.
Yep. Could be.
Spectre always has a high win rate, or high percentage.
I think it's also possible that this that the prediction doesn't particularly like Alk Doom together because it understands how much it matters if they fail once, right? It's like the margin for error for that type of lineup is probably considered very narrow. Because every time rich heroes die, they give away a lot of golden experience. You couple two of them in the same team together with Chen, who historically isn't the most formidable late gamer, then maybe that's why it's a little bit worried in this patch that are Gaimin getting enough? Now the lead is down to 3K.
Yep,
all of a sudden.
It's going down slowly. I mean,
it's looking very healthy for the Dire.
Yeah, Luna's keeping up with the Doom right now. Monet and company. Looks like BKB is next on the list for him. Expecting a fight around that time, I would assume. Now, in terms of the Roche potential, Cinderman, does either team want to be in the pit as fast as possible?
Gaimin definitely have the better lineup for it, without a doubt. With Alk and Chen creeps, you can do it pretty fast with Viper as well. These heroes add together quite nicely for it. G2.iG would love to fight there, though. They have a really good Roche pit lineup, but not the best at killing the man himself. We'll be looking for a smoke now. And they're also I'm not sure who scanned the pit. That would actually be a nice quality of life change, would be to be able to see the color of the scan. When two teams are scanning simultaneously, it's a little bit tricky to tell who scanned where. Yeah. But it looked like it was G2.iG scanning Roche. They will find Chen.
Yeah. Nice. The arrow will not hit because of the creep. And Celery will actually live. Unreal.
Very nice self-save there with the Whirlwind. That's not what it's called. That's Wind Ranger's Facet.
What is it called, actually?
I don't remember what that ability that the Wild Wing has is.
Go find one on the map, Cinder, and that's your job for the next few minutes. We have a smoke now from Gaimin. Wrap around and test his potential Roche. JT over the trees here. They can see a Sandstorm, though, as now a Greaves is online for Celery, so going to be tougher to kill.
Monet, this is awkward. If he goes through the gate and his team don't, they're going to get caught off.
He's through the gate.
Uh-oh.
As said,
they're getting scouted by Mantis.
Do they sniff this out?
Get the
Mass
hell out of there.
TPs, and it looks like everyone will get out of Dodge.
Now, if Gaimin realized this happened, they could just go for Roche. This was a full-on... They just conceded... This Roche is dead. They just conceded the area, and this was a lineup that, in my opinion, wants to take this fight, but they got caught in very awkward limbo, and now they have no choice but to let Gaimin have what they came for. So that worked out very well for the Gaimin side.
They literally just walked around and eventually just stumbled into the Roche pit and like, I guess we'll take it.
This is the highest impact position 5 you're possibly going to see. He saved himself with the Wild Wing, and therefore they get a full Roche for free.
Self-save support. Yeah. Gotta love it. As there's the blink. Ace gets off the Doom. The BKB popped. And now
fast.
Running away. They'll be able to catch him. You talked about their lack of catch. The Viper Strike just in range, though. And I think they will eventually find out. But the Burrow Strike at the last moment from JT, slowing Ace to a crawl. The Assassin and nothing to say. He's actually going to live. They lose X Nova, but if that's it, that's a really good trade for G2.iG.
A good save. Didn't cost them. So that was Doom out the window to lose the SD. And they still have Glyph to defend the tower, so perhaps mounting a defense here? I don't know if that's ill-advised or not. Maybe just, it looks like they're just conceding it. Not looking to set anything up here. We're letting the side of Gaimin have this. Gaimin are starting to gain some more control back once again. That Roche kill is so instrumental to the outcome of this, the potential outcome that is of this game, that it gave them the confidence to finally go for a push. Still not getting the full tower, but just starting that progression of gaining more ground.
So you talked about Gaimin being on a timer, and you didn't want to put a limit on it, but with this Aegis, I'm assuming they want all tier 2s. Is that the objective?
I would think
like
that
going high ground is probably a little early, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think getting the tier 2 should be the ultimate goal here. Anything better than that is icing on the cake, and they will now try to finish off mid. To say, trying to be a bit of a nuisance, but it looks like Quinn is not phased by this and will finish the job. So, oh, never mind. They actually do want to go.
Strike. Arrow is going to hit. JT, he's slowed by the shrapnel. Ace jumping in, pipes on both sides. Everyone's green all of a sudden. That means they're indestructible. Viper Strike onto the Razor. They're going to continue on here. Darachi is going to pop the Manta and run away. Is Quinn pretty deep right now, and nobody's taking damage. And finally, Quinn is the one getting low. That is the Aegis down. Question is, who wants to reaggress, if anyone? Darachi is looking for a fight. Gets the blink. Concoction is going to connect onto 2. They get the tier 2 tower, and it looks like that'll break things up.
So that... I'm not sure what exactly pushed Monet away there, but his entire Eclipse went on the trees. So if that was a Wild Wing again, man.
I did not see that.
I think it was a concussive grenade, perhaps. I'm not sure, because, yeah, that Eclipse just really did not do the work that he was hoping for, and if he had popped his BKB as he Eclipsed and just run in there, that might have been a really good fight. So heads-up play from Tofu. Pretty sure it was him getting that knockback when they needed it the most. And yeah, as you said, no casualties except the Aegis and a tier 2 tower, which... all in all, I think is okay for both teams, really. Wonder if Gaimin will be able to siege any further now. Oh, Baboka is in a very interesting
position. He leaps right into Tofu.
Nice grenade.
That was his last leap as well, so he gets eviscerated. Does take out the wave, though, and perhaps he thought that they were going to be pushing this tier 2 tower.
Radiant's top tower
despite not having the Aegis anymore. JT picking up the damager now. So he's got Yule's Pipe, Blink for Shiva's next. Already 2,000 into that, actually.
Yep. Very curious to see when the Lincolns start coming off for Dire, right? It feels like a good Lincolns game. You can block Viper Strike, you can block the Doom, you can block... even the Concoction can actually be really valuable in the right circumstance to block. Maybe they're not considering it too much because of Sniper. Just being able to proc it from mega long range is a bit of an issue.
Seeing some backpacking of Link tournament.
That's true. They could backpack it if they're clutch. This is such... This movement. Celery.
Celery. I don't think he's going to get out of this. Although Mr. Quinn is TPing on the creep. He actually gets in. The Viper Strike upon the Stanking. Celery does die. As Quinn, using the Hurricane Pike as the rest of his team connects. Daracho beating down X Nova. It's going to be 1-1 to start this fight. Nothing to say as BKB has now dissipated as he runs away. JT Looks like they're not going to focus on him too much, although now they're going to wrap around. And, oh, Dyrachyo actually blinks away with the concoction, looking for the more value kill, and nothing to say, but he mantas off the concoction as Monet gets off the Eclipse, but there's a lot of BKB, so not a ton of damage. And now the Doom applied to the Luna, who just TPs back to base, will be able to live through it. Everybody is so damn tanky, man.
Yep. That ended up being a support trade. And again, a BKB for a Doom. I honestly, considering how that was shaping up, decent for G2.iG. I thought they were going to lose multiple heroes there, but they managed to find the disengage and stay alive.
I mean, the last few minutes, the network lead has grown in favor of Gaimin, though, I will say, despite the fights kind of being even, which I feel like would favor G2.
But it's also, if the gold, let's say they gain 1,000 gold every 2 minutes, are Gaimin actually gaining, or is it even when they have Doom and Alk, right? Like, it's kind of going according to expectations. So,
well, at a certain point, Luna just farms fast.
Dyrachyo, no BKB.
Dyrachyo, yeah, he's dead. Plain and simple.
Now that is a big kill. And it goes to Monet. He got the demon's number in gold, the number of the beast.
Oh, yeah.
That kill was worth a lot of gold. That was, okay, that was a 2,000 gold swing. That one kill, of which Monet got about 800.
Yep, not bad.
Dire are scanning.
So, Mr. Monet on a kill streak now is actually going for the Conda, looks like. We'll have that extra burst.
And they also get a tower to... Okay, that's actually... That's probably the most important kill of the game that we just saw. A moment of... I'm not going to say he wasn't paying attention, but eventually when you are spreading thin on the map and you're looking for all this more offensive farm, there will be moments of opportunity, and that time G2.iG struck.
I mean, that's Dyrachyo in a nutshell, right? It happens once a series, at the very least. Gets caught out. But that's part of the reason what makes him so great. He gets away with it most of the time.
Yeah, it's an interesting take that I think people don't consider enough when they watch Pro Dota, is all of the deaths that don't happen, right? And what they lead to. It's a lot of what makes teams successful is, you know, going as close to the line as possible without getting caught, like limit testing constantly. Because every single time he gets away with this play, he gains GPM on another carry, right? That doesn't take that risk. So it's always, you're constantly taking these risk-reward calculations into mind. That time it failed. Maybe the next 10 he's not getting caught. Unfortunately, Alchemist is like the worst hero for that to happen on.
Yeah.
So I think the risk reward on that hero in particular makes it a little bit less appealing to stay there. And if you asked him, I'm sure he would consider that one just a flat out mistake. But back on the horse, Gaimin Gladiators, they go smoke. They just lost 6,000 gold. That's not going to dissuade them.
He's found. The Doom applied. Disruption comes out to delay things, but I believe this Razor is donezo. Gaimin Gladiators with a huge kill. Now X-Nova will follow suit. Question is, what can they get out of this? Roche, we won't know for the next minute when that spawn comes up. They obviously do have a lot of auras, and
40 seconds.
They can try to push.
There's a glyph.
Quinn did go for the shard, by the way, so he's going to do a lot of damage to these towers.
Can't wait to see him kill Luna with the tower.
Just get those stacks up.
This tower is going to melt when this fortification goes down.
25 seconds of no Razor. Arrow coming in. It's going to connect onto the Doom as Dyrachyo pops the BKB, getting out of the concoction as well. Going to focus everything on the Mirana. She's dead just like that.
That
Still 3 dead for G2.iG, and Gaimin haven't really taken too much damage as the tower does fall. Does not kill a hero in the process. Now focusing on the range racks. Razor's back up though, and Gaimin likely will reset.
That was that felt like just a flat out mistake from Boboka, that leap direction. I think he meant to turn, and maybe he got mini stunned or something.
Fake back? No.
But yeah, if Mirana doesn't leap in and die there, perhaps they don't even suffer any casualties. But at the very least, they didn't lose the barracks. But still, Gaimin Gladiators probably pretty happy with being able to squeeze all of that out of one singular smoke.
Yeah.
They killed Razor, Shadow Demon, a tier 3, and almost the range barracks. And now it's just a matter of, okay, can you do it once more? The next time they have a successful move, there's guaranteed barracks in mid. There's no glyph. The other tier 2 towers are up, though.
Yeah.
So
Roche number 2. Roche off is about to occur.
Razor showing mid, the rest of the team hunting, though.
All right, this could be a big kill. Arrow does hit. Already half HP is Ace. Popping that shield, but he is melting. So much damage coming from G2.iG, and eventually he does pop. Like a pinata. Does have his buyback, though.
Do they keep going here? Yes.
And his Doom is back in 13 seconds, so we might see the buyback come out as Tofu using the concussive grenade, but not able to get to the low ground, as Monet will eventually clean him up. Takes a while. Has the double kill. The buyback did come. No BKB on Monet now, as Gaimin looking for a potential fight. I think to say pretty damn fast, but Dyrachyo shows up out of nowhere, forcing the BKB out of nothing to say. The Doom's still available. Ace at half HP, though, as JT getting beat down by Dyrachyo. Will try to reset now that the static link is applied to him. So a soft back from Gaimin Gladiators. And they don't want this dieback to occur on Ace, despite not having used his ult at all in either engagement. That'll break up the fight completely.
Very clutch there. Very good disruption save on X-Nova. I actually think without Eye of the Vizier, that's a dead Sand King. So important neutral item choice from him in that situation to have that little bit of extra cast range. It will get out. This game is really hanging on a knife's edge. You feel like the next Roche is going to determine so damn much. If Gaimin Gladiators don't manage to get this one, the way these fights are developing, I don't know if they have enough in the tank come the next 15 minutes. So clock feels like it's...
If they could force a fight now, though, they have more ultimates. Luna's is down for like 30 seconds. Doom, we talked about already up, but yeah, we're going to see the separation now from G2.iG, so that should buy enough time for everything to come back.
Surely they're not just flat out conceding this Aegis, right? They're actually just giving up the whole...
Second time.
Okay, they're connecting. Do they have a smoke? They don't have a smoke, and they obviously don't have Moonlight Shadow because Solar Flare is what everybody seems to be taking now. Yeah. So, this is pretty awkward, actually.
Yeah,
there's
Roche
the roar.
belching, so they know that he is
There's
being
the smoke.
attacked.
Boca doing his best to connect them fast.
Pretty low. I don't know if they're going to get this in time. In fact, they're not.
They're too late.
So everything goes the way of...
They might take the fight anyway.
Potentially, the Aegis goes to Viper again. Nay, cutting them off from the other side. Quinn is going to be the one that breaks the smoke. There's a Solar Flare popped. With the Burrow Strike on the bottom side, they delete the sniper. Tofu just blown up. Arrow connected on the Alchemist onto the high ground. As Baboka getting in pretty deep. Quinn going to tank a lot of this damage. This is going to be life number one. It's not going to say already popped the BKB. And now they surround Quinn. Surely Gaimin are going to try to fight here. As JT going in with the epicenter, and Quinn is just getting destroyed. No chance to even attack there. And even Celery follows suit. Dyrachyo has to hightail away with a TP. So in the end, they get the Aegis, or they consume it, I guess, and they also get 3 kills from the G2.iG side.
Just absolute genius to let them take Roche there. Love that choice. Now, that was obviously an amazing result for G2.iG, but imagine how much better it would have been if that fight had broken out while they were Roshing. That could have just flat out won the game. Now, it still puts them in a very, very good position to slow this down. Aegis out of the hands. What do they have? They only have a banner to show for it right now on the sniper. So maybe Gaimin try to put that banner to use and push top, but I just don't think their lead is meaningful enough anymore. Monet is reaching critical levels on the Luna Conda and now completing a butterfly in just a moment. He is easily the strongest hero in this game. Same net worth as an Alchemist at 35 means you're doing great on any hero. And we're seeing nothing to say actually have... He's 1-4-4. I feel like he's having maybe the biggest impact in his entire team on this Razor. The amount of vision, the amount of space he's creating, the amount he's anti-carrying every single fight by just zoning heroes out, getting static link on the right target, breaking the fight up so Gaimin can't... You know, if you look at their lineup, they really want to be a ball that stands their ground and just delivers. And he keeps breaking them apart. And that's what's opening up the fight so much for the Sand King Mirana to land combinations, for the Luna to come in and just long-range burst them. This is going really, really well now for the side of G2.iG. And without a fumble here, I think they've weathered the worst part of the storm now of this game.
Yep, another shard goes their way. This time JT. Yeah, they definitely seem like they're in the driver's seat right now. And the question is, how well does the game inside scale with what they picked?
Right, and what's their plan B? Because this was not plan A. I'm positive about this. This was they drafted for the game to be over now. So now that didn't happen, are you just going to slow the game down and try to play for third Roche and hope you get that one cleanly? Or are you going to try to force the issue with some sort of major smoke play with this Bloodthorn that Alk is completing? You need to start strategizing and get a good idea here of how to solve this problem. I think if you lose a singular team fight, you probably just lose the whole base. All the tier 2s are down, so Luna's going to eat your base.
Oh, there's still a tier 2.
Is there one? Oh, the mid one. Okay, I couldn't see it because the hero icons are so big on my screen. But that would be an easy cleanup as well because they're constantly pushing out mid and they have good vision there too to even make a jump. Oh, speaking of a jump. Oh my.
The destroy. Hand of Gaimin keeps him alive. Actually going to walk it off.
Okay.
What the hell? That was a ping pong match of an HP bar right there.
That was very close.
But yeah, that Conda just showing its worth in spades as the tier 2 tower will be the target for G2.iG. Should be able to get it uncontested.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
The smoke coming from Gaimin. Looks like they want to fight despite not having Chen ult at the ready.
Radiant are scanning.
And Rabbit is stuck in mid-air. Cool animation there. Boca. He's starting to get really farmed as well.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's another potential scaling hero here in that Mirana that could pivot. With Solar Flare, you're only 1 or 2 items away from becoming a third carry in the game.
Bottom tower is
That's the Dragonlance.
What do you think of his build? Shout out to Sir Action Slacks with the 2 boots. Just missing 4 of them.
Yeah, just still missing the rest, but on his way, learning slowly.
Yeah. Maybe that's the biggest difference between the two, is that Boboka buys them when they make sense, and Slacks just buys them because he's tilted at you for playing Lifestealer poorly in the safe lane.
Yeah.
So it's jungle for the rest of the game. Buys one of every boot. And it's like, no, I'm not toxic, you are.
Oh, we got a Wind Waker sighting on JT.
Yep.
So even harder to kill. Did not actually, he's going for the Bloodstone next, but panel talked about the fact that against Doom, you want to prioritize.
Rush. Okay.
Lots of blinks out. Ace though stuck in a very precarious spot. Oh my goodness, the pause. What the horse happens next?
All right.
Does Doom die? I mean, that's a yes. Let's be real. Let's go for a harder one. Who wins this team fight?
I'm gonna say Doom dies as the only hero.
Okay, that would be very fitting, actually. The Razor was doomed. Will run away. The pipe is starting to dissipate on the side of Gaimin Gladiators. Monet posturing a bit, and it looks like you might be right. You win the grand prize of nothing.
Is that dinner?
Oh, God, no. You owe me $100 dinner. Okay, they're going to group back up with this next wave. And we've seen it time and time again, Cinderin. Once this tower goes down, Luna just destroys Win.
He has no
He's dead forever, it seems. No buyback at all as Duracio has to pop the BKB in retreat. That literally might be game over with Luna in your base.
I mean, surely it is.
Nothing
you have a minute and no tier 2s. I just triple-checked mid. It's gone. They don't even need to.
They're going for Throne. Yeah, they're going to try to force these buybacks, which are not available at all. So just one lane of racks, and it might just be GG. Forcing this game 3. Already the tier 4's fallen. Just the Ancient is exposed now as Duracio can only look on as he uses his Nullifier for the first time in the game, and then slowly dies in the Sandstorm. And that is going to be the end of game 2. My goodness, G2.iG really showing up after a pretty poor performance in game 1.
Yeah, they did what they needed to do. They avoided the critical timing of the first 25 minutes. They made sure to not bleed too many heroes